there and thanks for joining me. This week's championship is a cross-country one called Mud Bath, where we race in B-class off-road vehicles, and I decided to go down and dirty with the Mercedes-Benz X-Class. Will I bottle it just before the finish line? Will somebody try to push me out of the finish line? Will I come in first against all odds? Will we win this week's championship? We will find out in this video, and if you should like it, then I beg you to push all of the right buttons. It's a pretty diverse group we take to the first race of the day, that one being the Gardens cross-country circuit. We had the dirt race recently over here and I told you I really hated it, just like the cross-country race. So let's see how this one actually goes. I start in first position, not really something I wanted for this race, but well, we'll take it. And let's see how bad things can get in this race. The start is pretty normal, and I try to take the outside line to get past some driver cars, and apart from a little push, well, nothing out of the ordinary. But keep an eye on the red Ford Bronco. He totally brake checks me over here, and well, that somehow messes my jump up completely. That results in me falling back to the middle of the pack, more towards the end even. I'll have to find my way back, which, well, I try to do, as this Bramble Ranger takes a very wide line. Would not recommend that. And I'm back to 5th position, I think, as I go flying way too fast and hit this wall, but I do get to keep my position just barely as I get a little nudge. And we go over the finish line for the first time. And Guerrero doing funny things and, well, ends up blocking me once again. And I decide to check out the grass as it is spring season, and what better way to do this than in a pickup truck. Oh, and somebody goes flying off, and I think it was that red Bronco again. He'd rather be a helicopter, I think, and well, who are we to judge him? If he wants to be identified as a helicopter, we can't deny him that simple elemental human right. And Bramble was, well, very wide again and almost pushed me away, but I was able to keep my car in check, just barely. And somebody had a little moment with Wall on the finish line, and I want to go past him, but well, of course the driver has the same ID. And again with the shenanigans, this go shifting really can be annoying, but I do get past him. I did get past him, even when I lost, well, a little bit of momentum. Third run down to the water, and we finally have a decent one as I take an alternative line over here, which keeps me going pretty fast. But this race again shows me why I do not like this race or any other race that goes through this park. We head towards the finish line and I'm in 4th position, but I'm hell-bent on catching the driver in front of me, which of course allows me to kiss this wall as my colleague did in the previous lap. Fortunately, I had enough of a lead to allow me to keep my position, and I finish 4th, and we have a win on this race. And we have double the points of Team Drivatar, so even for a funny race, we do get 1 point for the human team in this Mud Bath Co-op Championship, which is a nice thing. If we win the next one, then well, it's a sure win for the championship, but let's see if we can. So onwards to the next race and maybe the next point as well. And this next race Well, that turns out to be a point-to-point race that takes us well through the countryside, as that is what cross-country means actually. And it decides to be the Coastal Rush cross-country. Where do we start? Well, near the last positions, near the end, and judging by the map, it has some long straights. Speed seems to be an important factor for this next race. And luck, of course, but that's of course the case for any race. But, well, in cross-country more than other types of racing. And pole position are both the new Mercedes-Benz G63 6x6, a massive beast, but not that very fast. And, well, I want to pass one on the outside, hit the wall, and then, well, hit him, and he doesn't take too kindly on that. So notice the name, it was that Liqueur MX, as I go flying past almost everybody except the guy in the lead. So let's chase him, as well I hit him on the jump, and then all kinds of shenanigans again as I then get to chase him once again. And well, second place is on my tail, as you can see by the shadow, but I have a better speed, and let's see if I can avoid the guy in the lead now, and I can. And I go flying past. I am in lead, but going way too fast, and well, both first and second position do pass me without too much trouble. Let's see if I can catch them again as we approach the airfield. And I want to take the left lane to get a better run on the next right-hand corner. But so do the Drivatars. I do gain a little bit on them, and well, they get slowed down by all of the gates. And I go flying by, but miss the checkpoint because I do go way too fast, and I decide to rewind. And then look who's back. Well, he now pushes me out of a checkpoint as he misses it as well, and I decide to not try the rewind again, so I go around and around and around, and well, I'm almost in last position, but everybody behind me is a human player, so we are way down on points. And I take this jump, go into the water, have a little bump and another bump, and all of these bumps, well, that messes up my braking completely, missing another checkpoint. And this time around I do not care about the rewind, I just go back, and well, again we have a nice encounter with the same, well, colleague, but not really, as well I try to push him, give him a little bit of speed, and then try to duck underneath him, but he has another idea as he starts pushing me wide, and I can counter steer all I want, but I still hit the wall, and he finishes before me. Well, and I end up in 10th position, of course. That too is online Forza for you. Well, deal with it. And that, of course, is a loss for the human team. Team Drivatar wins, and we now have a draw in our trial. The last race will be the decisive one. And what will Forza have for us? Well, this last race has us compete against each other, but mostly Team Drivatar, I hope, in the Titan, the longest official cross-country race in Forza Horizon 4. It has pretty much everything: long straights, tight turns, some jumps, a real treat, of course, or threat. I'm, well, not too sure about that one. And I start near the end, and giving my previous encounters with the Drivatars, that might actually be a good thing. And again, the two on first position are the massive beasts that have recently joined Forza Horizon. And again, I try to take the outside, and again I get pinched. No major collisions, no major drawbacks, so let's hope I do not get punished this time around. Onto the beach, and well, I'm able to gain a couple of positions pretty fast, and I'm in 4th position as we're heading for the first jump, which is, well, the same jump as we had before but in the other direction. So this time around I do not have too much trouble, but of course I did not have to brake. Still in 4th place, and well, chasing down the driver tour leaders as I plow through everything that I can find in this field. Heading towards the airfield once again, and I try to take, well, the inside line on this as much as possible, but then well, luckily I found out soon enough that I had to avoid those tire walls to get the checkpoint and outbrake the guy in 3rd and 4th position. Gained a couple again, and I make it stick, and well, some strange driving over here, but nothing too major. I also am able to keep that position, but I must give all credit to the capabilities, the handling capabilities of my car. And oh, the guy in lead hits a golf cart in the wild, but then of course, well, I could have avoided him and go flying past, but of course I had to hit him as I now go plowing through the soccer field. Somebody is using his horn to let me know he's there as I go very wide, and Valkyria is in front of me, and I try to give him all the space he needs, and well, I get a cheeky little, well, shortcut as it feels, but not really, and I gain back the position. And on the minimap it seems that we have a decent lead, but looking at the points, well, we do not have a lead over there. Let's see, I go wide again, but well, we now have to go underneath this pylon, and I take it rather slowly because I have to make sure that I go underneath it and don't hit it. I do have to go slow to be able to take the next corner, and I want to give Valkyria enough place, but that makes me hit the hay bale and slow me down, and well, it slows him down as well, and the driver tires behind were able to gain as we head for the jump, which I hit nicely. And I know I have to follow this dirt path to have the fastest run, but it seems that Valkyria doesn't know, and he loses a couple of positions as I hang in there for first position. And we go towards the mountain in a big loop with a relatively tight 180 corner. I'm still in lead, but still down on points. I hope Valkyria can make a comeback and others can gain a couple of positions as well, as I fear what will happen when we go flying on this mountain, or especially the landing. I keep in 4th position as usually that is a correct one, and I keep it there to gain speed as fast as possible, but the bumps again made me miss all braking points as I barely miss that tree, and well, a very strange crossing the railroad, and I have a strange run towards the checkpoint and I barely miss the house. A very, very bad run, and well, that makes the driver tour able to gain my position as he gets slowed down a lot by all of the fences we plow through. And I'm able to take back my position. We now go towards the rail yard and I come in way too hot again as I take, well, a very alternative line on the right side of that wagon. But I get to keep my position and we come to the last 90-degree turns, or one big 180, but not really. And of course I hit all of the lamp posts and all of the benches as I have a drivatar right on my tail, but he seems to be taking the jump, which slows him down a lot, and I finish in first position. My oh my, I did not think I would be able to, but I did it. But we're still down on points. All one can do now is hope that some of my colleagues can gain a couple of places. We do not need that much. Will we be able to? It doesn't seem to be the case. Not sure we can still... No, I don't think we can still gain enough points. And, well, that's it. It does not happen. We lose this race and thus also the championship. Well, in any normal world that would be the case, but not in the world of Forza, where counting happens in a very different manner than over here in the real world. And so Forza declares us winners of this race and thus also winners of the championship. Undeserved, completely undeserved, but we get to take home the Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Liberty design. Red team gets nothing and I kind of feel sad for them, but not really as they are drivatars. That's it for this week's episode of Trying to Beat the Co-op Championship Trial. It remains very debatable whether we actually won this week, but well, let me know in the comments what you think of it. And if you did enjoy this video, please press all the right buttons and see you again next week.